Hello and welcome back to Democracy, everybody. Welcome back to Helldivers 2, where today we're going to be taking a look at the secondary weapons once again in Helldivers, and we're going to be ranking them versus the bugs. I did one of these not too long ago, but it was kind of just a general ranking, and I don't think that will be as good as like just individually ranking them against each faction. So we're going to be doing this again, as well as the day I put that video out was like the day before the laser revolver came out, so we didn't really get to talk about that, and since then I have got to play with it quite a bit. So first up, we've got the P2 Peacemaker, your starting pistol, and sadly a pistol that I think needs a lot of buffs right now because it is not really that strong against anything. This one does 75 damage per shot, which is pretty decent. It does have light armor pen, which is okay. I kind of wish it had more damage if it just stuck with its light armor pen. Holds 15 rounds in it. It does shoot very fast. You do get quite a few spare mags with this, but I still don't feel like that's enough for it. And overall, it's just kind of a disappointing like secondary that doesn't really pair well with anything because there's other secondaries that kind of do its job or a job very similar to it better. So it's very, very awkward to recommend. Yeah, it is the only starting secondary, so right out the gate you kind of only have this, but you can get like the submachine gun pretty early on, and that one is substantially better. So against bugs, this one's going to be in C tier. It's just not as good as the other secondary, sadly. Next up, we've got the P19 Redeemer. This one is the little submachine gun. This one is pretty much like the Liberator assault rifle, just shoved into a single-handed weapon, which is pretty cool. This one holds 30+1 in it, deals 60 damage per shot, which is kind of low, but this does spray out bullets really fast, has a very high rate of fire. It only has like 4 spare magazines though, so you can go through the ammo pretty quickly with it. But this submachine gun kind of does everything that the pistol could do, but better, since you could set this to semi-auto and use it the same way as the pistol, which is good for like triggering mines and like bot missions or even the explosive plants on bug missions. It kills most of the small bugs really quickly, and a decent amount of the medium bugs very quick too. You might have to aim for the weak spots since it just has light armor pen, so you can't always punch through stuff. But generally speaking, it's a submachine gun that's going to complement a lot of primary weapons, and it's probably going to be your go-to secondary for quite a while if you're just starting the game, because I do think that this one is substantially better than the pistol, and it's still pretty good even later on. So I'm going to put this one up into A tier. I think it's actually pretty solid. Then we have the P113 Verdict. This is the Deagle. This pistol's pretty cool. It does 125 damage per shot, which is quite a bit. It does have medium armor pen on it, meaning that it can hurt most bugs, and it can put down the medium bugs pretty fast at a distance. Even at close range, you can still kill some of them pretty quick. It's not great against like the brood commanders if they're charging you, but against pretty much all the other medium bugs, you can kill them very, very quickly. This one holds 10 rounds in it, and you get 8 spare mags with it, which is quite a lot. That's pretty nice. It's fairly spammable. It doesn't have too much recoil. It's generally just going to be an all-around fairly solid secondary to take with just about any build. I do think it's a little bit better against squids and bots than it is against bugs, though. Mostly because the medium, like squids with the overseers, are a bit tougher, and the medium bots, sometimes the Deagle can be kind of nice for taking them out. Medium bugs, again, this isn't bad for spamming, and it can one-shot all the small bugs, so it's good there, but I think I'd probably rank this one the lowest, at least in terms of the factions. I'm still going to put it B tier, though, because I think it's still pretty good, and I do like taking it. It's never going to be a bad option. It's just that sometimes it doesn't always excel in a certain area like you may want some of your other secondaries to do. Then we've got the P4 Senator, or the Big Iron, and this one is pretty awesome. So this one does 200 damage per shot. It has heavy armor pen on it, so it can hurt every bug in the game. That includes Titans, Chargers, and Impalers, which is really great. This can kill medium bugs pretty quickly. It can kill small bugs incredibly fast. Does only hold 6 shots, but it does have a speed loader once you empty out all 6 of those shots. And this one is a pretty solid weapon. It can kind of be used as like a pocket sniper for most builds. It works really well in that role. Again, similar to the Deagle, I think it's a little bit stronger against bots and squids than it is against bugs, but it can still hurt pretty much every bug in the game, so it's never going to be a bad option to take with just about any loadout. Honestly, you can use it basically as your primary weapon with how many bullets you get, and with the new gunslinger armor, it does make it feel really, really nice. That helps with pretty much all the secondaries besides the melee. So I'm going to put this one up into S tier. I think the Big Iron is fantastic. It's really good on just about every build. I absolutely love it. Maybe not the highest like S tier that I would say out of the weapons that we're going to talk about, but still very high up there. Up next, we got the Stunlance. Potentially the first melee weapon that you're going to get. I don't know, because you can buy these two from the superstore. This one you do have to get from a war bond. The Stunlance does 110 damage per hit, has medium armor pen on it. It's kind of light and heavy. It says it has light armor on it, but the electricity with it does help against certain enemies. It also has the longest reach out of any of the melee weapons right now, which is pretty good. Damage is pretty decent with it. If you're going with like peak physique armor, it's really good, and that's how you should probably be running all the melee weapons if you want to be taking them. This one does give you the longest reach, and it's pretty good against crowds of bugs. It can still sometimes get you overwhelmed by other bugs though. So if you do have a bunch of like stalkers chasing you down, this one's not going to be that great. But against smaller bugs, it works really well, and especially if they start funneling towards you and you can just keep stabbing them, it is really, really good then. And it is kind of better now that like the ballistic shield can block for melee damage too. You could also use the shield backpack or the deployable shield too. Any of those are fine and they work really well in combination with the spear. Spear is pretty solid against bugs, at least most of the time, but it is still a little bit niche because of it. And I don't always feel comfortable using the spear, so I'm going to put it up in a B tier, but I think it's pretty decent. Up next, we got the Stun Baton. Stun Baton does 50 damage per hit, has medium armor pen on it. Again, it says it has light, but it seems to be able to hurt other things, so that's pretty nice. This one deals pretty okay damage. It attacks very quickly and has a very high chance of stunning enemies. It's pretty much guaranteed stun on any sort of like small and medium enemies. And if you get them stunned, you can pretty much lock them down with the Stun Baton. So in like a 1v1 setting, it's really good. Unfortunately, 1v1 settings against bugs don't happen very often. This can be decent if there is stalkers coming up on you, because you can just lock them down and then beat them to death if you would like, and that's not a bad option. As well as it does have all the bonuses of the other melees where it just has infinite ammo, so that's cool, or infinite swings on it. You don't ever have to worry about that. Again, run peak physique on it and it's okay. I do think it's kind of the weakest of the melee ever since I've been using melee more often. It doesn't feel way great to me, at least on these guys. It feels a little bit better on bots and squids, but even then, it still feels kind of awkward, so I'm going to put this one into C tier. And then we've got the Combat Hatchet. This one does as much damage as the spear, but attacks as fast as the baton, which is pretty cool, which you'd think maybe that's even better, but it does have shorter reach than the spear. As well as sometimes the swings don't always hit where you kind of want them to, so they're always diagonal swings, which does kind of help if you want to be hitting like the medium bugs in the head. It can actually kill certain bugs really, really fast. All the melee weapons can. And this one I would definitely say is better than the Stun Baton. I don't think it's quite as good as the spear is, though. I'd still probably put it up in a B tier, though. I think it's still okay, and again, combined with like the Riot Shield, now that the Riot Shield blocks melee attacks, it does actually feel pretty good with that against like smaller swarms or against like medium bugs if you just want to kill them thanks to that. So that has certainly made these a little bit better. Then we move on to the special secondaries, which first up we have the STM Pistol. And the STM Pistol kind of has to go into the situational tier already because it's pretty much just for a team setting. If you're playing solo, it does very little. You can technically like kill the explosive plants and stuff with it. It still counts as at least hitting things, but it doesn't really do much outside of that. In multiplayer, though, the STM Pistol is really good because you can heal teammates quite a bit with this. It won't heal as much as a dedicated STM will, but you do have a whole bunch of shots with this, so that's really good. I think you get like 30 in total, 6 in it, 24 out, and it does have the speed reload similar to the Senator, which is fantastic. But yeah, this one is totally situational as to how much you use it. It's even better if you take the infusion booster, which can give more bonuses to your team, and it does apply to all these darts too, so that's really cool. It is a very fun weapon, unless you have like really high ping. If you have really high ping, then the STM Pistol is awkward, because then it just sometimes doesn't hit where it should, where it looks like it's going right through somebody. Sometimes it looks like it's going right through them on their screen too, and it still just won't register as the dart actually hitting them, so depends on how good of a connection you have as to how great the STM Pistol can be, as well as how many people are on your team. If you're playing like a 2-man group, this one can still be really good, but it is best in like a 4-man group. Then we got the Bushwhacker shotgun, the sawed-off triple barrel. This one is pretty cool against bugs. This one does really high damage. It does 405 damage per shot, at least if all the pellets connect. That's as much damage as the Punisher, which is pretty much the highest damaging shotgun as of right now. Besides the full-size double barrel that you can find laying on the ground, that one does the most. It has light armor pen, holds 3 shots. You do have to reload each shot individually, though. So it does take time to reload this, and you're probably going to be reloading it pretty often. That being said, though, it can one-shot so many bugs. It can one-shot all the small bugs at pretty decent range. All the shotguns in this game have quite long range compared to most video game shotguns. One-shots a lot of the medium bugs, too. If it doesn't kill them, it also has stagger on it, so that's really good. This can one-shot like brood commanders. It can one-shot stalkers if you get good placement on the head. It can one-shot all the warriors. So that's pretty cool. It does a lot of damage towards most things, and you can swap it to fire out all 3 barrels at once. So if you really want to hit like a charger in the back pretty hard, then this is pretty good. Against all the medium bugs, besides maybe stalkers, that's a bit overkill. But yeah, the Bushwhacker is really good against bugs. I would put this one up into A tier. It's very, very nice. Then we have our newest gun, the Laz Talon. This is the laser revolver. This one does 200 damage a shot and has medium armor pen on it, which is already very good. This one also is a laser weapon, so it doesn't really run out of ammo so long as you don't overheat it. It does have somewhat of a slower reload if you do overheat it, And this one builds up heat depending on how many shots you fire in quick succession, because you can fire this one really fast. If you fire it at pretty much max rate of fire, you can get off about 7 shots before it overheats, but that's still not too bad. The damage from this is really good. It having medium armor pen is really good against bugs too. You can kill the medium bugs really easily with this. And if you like swapping back and forth between your primary and secondary, this is actually pretty solid. I really like this one with the Punisher, because so often you can just use the Punisher to spam down crowds and one-shot a lot of the medium bugs, except for like maybe the heavier ones where it will take a couple more shots. You can pull this out, kill them, and it actually works really, really well. So as long as you're not overheating this one, it's pretty good. I would actually put this one up into S tier against bugs. It's very nice. If you get overrun, then this one's a little bit awkward, and something like the Bushwhacker would probably be better. This kind of depends on how you like to play. If you're playing with heavy armor, maybe this one goes down a little bit and the Bushwhacker goes up. But if you like light armor, then this one's probably up here and the Bushwhacker's a little bit lower. And then we have the P72 Crisper, or the little flame pistol, the aerosol can. This one is pretty awesome, especially against bugs. This is a fire weapon. It's just the smallest version of the flamethrower that you can get, and almost all the bugs need to get close to you to actually hurt you. And this can hurt all of the bugs very, very quickly. So this one does 375 damage per second. This one will also deal damage over time thanks to the fire, and it leaves behind fire on the floor, so that's good. This one does also have heavy armor pen on it technically, so you can use this right up against like Chargers and Titans, and it can kill them. It does that actually pretty well. You have about 6 to 7 seconds with this before it fully runs out if you just wanted to hold it down. So it does run through fuel pretty quickly, but you do have at least a decent amount of fuel canisters. So if you're only using this at close range, it's actually really, really solid against the bugs. And I think it's the best against the bugs. It's actually not bad against squids. A little bit more difficult to use against bots, even though it does kill them very quickly. But yeah, against bugs, the flamethrower pistol, all the way up into S tier. I think it's really, really good against the bugs. Then we have the grenade pistol. This one is pretty awesome. So this one deals 250 damage on direct hit and then 400 damage from the explosion. This has medium armor pen on it. You get 6 shots with this as well as the one in it, so that's pretty good. This one can close bug tunnels, which is really, really good against the bugs, and it can kill quite a few of the medium bugs pretty easily. It can kill the small bugs very easily, and it can even hurt the big bugs like Titans and Chargers. It's not going to be incredible against them as much as a dedicated weapon would be, but if you need to, you can use this against them. So this one's pretty solid, but I think I'm going to put this one in the situational tier, because honestly, it depends on what you're using it for. This one is really good when paired with a weapon that has a high amount of sustain, like one of the energy weapons or something, and it's really good on like blitz missions if you just want to close up all the bug tunnels super fast. This one is fantastic. So overall, it's really, really high up there in terms of utility. It is really, really good. And it kind of stays that way. It's kind of a perfect little pistol for any build. Then we've got the Laz Dagger. Laz Dagger is kind of interesting because Laz Dagger is broken right now to where it actually can have infinite ammo, which is pretty strong, as you would kind of expect, or, well, infinite heat sinks, so you can just hold it down on enemies. This one does 250 damage per second with the laser once you hold it on. Only has light armor pen on it, and this one actually has pretty long range. It does overheat faster than something like the Scythe does, which makes sense since this is a secondary and that's a primary. But again, if you're abusing the bug that's going on right now, you do have infinite ammo with it, which is pretty strong. It's decent against bugs. It can light them on fire. It's just that you can get overwhelmed really easy with this. So it's best, I found, paired with like a shotgun or like a submachine gun or even an assault rifle. Use this for kind of longer ranges to start engaging the enemies and weaken some of them, get some free kills. Then once they start moving in on you, then swap to like your shotgun or your submachine gun or something. You can spray them down. Then the Laz Dagger actually feels pretty decent for bugs. I don't think it's as strong for bugs as it is for like bots, but still, I'm going to put it in B tier. I think it's decent. And assuming that the bug gets fixed on it, then I think B tier is fine. Like right now with the bug, it's probably like more A tier. The ultimatum is pretty crazy. The ultimatum is a single shot grenade launcher with a pretty rapidly dropping shot that deals pretty much as much damage as a precision strike. So this deals 3,500 damage on the projectile hit, and then 1,000 explosive damage on top of that. With this also having, at least on the projectile itself, having the max amount of anti-tank armor, and the explosion also having anti-tank armor. So if you hit a Titan with this directly, you probably will kill it. If you hit a Charger directly with this, you'll kill it. If you hit a Impaler with it, you'll kill it. If you hit to the side of any of them, then they can all survive. So it's a little bit less useful there. This can also close up bug tunnels. It can even close up the giant Titan tunnel, and it can even knock out buildings, which I think is better against bots than it is against bugs. The ultimatum is fantastic. You do only get like the one shot in it and one extra though. So it is very limited in terms of its actual use, because once you're out, then you're out. You don't get anything else. And it's only really good for knocking out big things, but it does do that job incredibly well. So I'm going to put this one into situational 2, same with the grenade launcher and the syringe gun. It can be really strong in a good loadout. You do kind of have to build around it, because if you have a primary that goes through ammo pretty quickly, like let's say the Scorcher or something, which is generally pretty good, and then your secondary is the ultimatum, there will probably be times where you're out of both your primary and secondary, and you kind of just have to rely on your stratagems or your support weapon to kind of get you through until you can find some more ammo for them. Assuming you are finding ammo for that build, though, it is actually really strong, and it can take out basically everything really fast. But that's why I'm going to put it here in the situational tier. And their very last weapon for bugs is the Plaz 15 Loyalist, the little plasma pistol, basically a smaller version of the Purifier. So this one deals 125 damage on shot, although that can be more damage if you charge this thing up. And then it also has splash damage on it, which is pretty good. This one has medium armor pen on it. This one holds 7 rounds in it, so you can run through pretty fast if you're spamming that, and that does make it a little bit awkward for bugs. You do have at least like 4 spare mags with it though, so you can reload this thing pretty often, and if you're using the charge shots, this one will last you a long time. The problem with that against the bugs though is that sometimes they do get on top of you, and sometimes you do have to use your secondary just to spam them down. It will kill all the small and medium bugs really fast though, so that's actually really nice for this, and it can even hurt the bigger bugs too. The Plaz 15 is nice, it's just sometimes you run through ammo with it, so I'm going to put it high up into A tier. And this is pretty much where I put all the secondaries versus the bugs right now. Most of them are really solid, especially if you build around them, with the only exceptions in my opinion being the starting pistol, just because there's pretty much a secondary that does everything it can do but better, especially if you look at something like the Verdict, which just seems like a straight upgrade from it, and the stun baton, which I find a little bit awkward, whereas like the axe I find kills things a little bit quicker, and the spear I find kills things a little bit quicker. Tell me your thoughts on this though. Where would you put all the secondaries in Helldivers 2 versus the bugs? We will be doing this with bots and squids as well. Don't worry about that. Those will be coming up in the future. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.